is Ashana Larson with the Falzer Under 5 podcast, a microdose of music and purpose for the Falzer Club. The Falzer Club is a music venue in the East Falls section of Philly that combines music and activism to foster community and make the world a better place for everyone. Today, I am with Christopher Morse from Colorado, who will be bringing his singer-songwriting talents to the Falzer Club on Thursday, April 25th at 7:30. He'll be doing singer-songwriting in the round with Jason Agar and Tyler Assay. Thanks for being with me today, Christopher.
Of course. Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. Now, I have to start out asking an area code question because you're listed as a singer-songwriter from Colorado, but with the 609 area code that I'm calling, I think you're showing some Jersey roots.
Yeah, for sure. I moved to Colorado from New Jersey. I had been living in Flemington for a little bit, but my family, we were in Princeton for a long time. So that's where that 609 area code came from.
Okay. And rumor has it you were a choir boy. Was that from the Princeton area too?
Yeah. At the time, my family was living in Canada, and I moved down to New Jersey to be part of what was called the American Boy Choir School, which I usually describe as being like Hogwarts for singing. So it was a boarding school, and we had 3.5 hours of rehearsal a day, and we were doing national and international tours and singing with the New York Philharmonic and doing all this whole high-profile stuff. And then my parents followed me to New Jersey, and that's where we stayed.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a really, really unique experience, and I'm so glad that I was able to do that. It was really, really incredible, and I got to see, I think, 23 states with the choir, and that was actually the first time I went to Colorado was with the boy choir, and I had no idea that I'd end up moving there.
How old were you when you were on tour?
That was a middle school, so it was 5th through 8th grade.
That is amazing. I mean, I think that right as an adult, the idea that your parents could move to join you is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. I was very, very fortunate to be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so I was looking at your tour schedule. You are on tour now pretty much through the end of August. That's pretty ambitious. Is touring just in your blood from a young age?
Well, it's funny you say that. I mean, yeah, starting with the boy choir, we were on the road all the time. We had school on the bus, and, it was sing in one city, stay there overnight, and then hop on the bus and go to the next city. So I really enjoy doing that. I think it's a ton of fun, and you get to meet a ton of people and see a bunch of different places. So, yeah, I guess it is kind of in my blood.
Now, the tour that you're on now, did you plan this one yourself?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
What's the hardest part about that? That is, you have a lot of dates, and that scheduling, I mean, I know from, booking people, trying to, book people into my venue, I can't imagine how hard it is to do the opposite, be a performer, trying to, weave your way into a tour that makes sense.
Yeah, it is tricky for sure. I found that if you start with an anchor date and then try and plan around that, either before that anchor date or after, you can start to sort of see the puzzle come together. But yeah, it's a long process, a lot of logistics, a lot of planning, and it can take time for those pieces to fit together and to form a little tour.
Well, your tour is pretty impressive. I think you did an awesome job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're at the beginning of your tour, right? We're getting you started and your feet wet.
Yeah, yeah. You're the first show. I'm doing an interview tomorrow night with Rock on Radio. Um, that'll take up my evening, and then Thursday at the Falser Club is the first official date um, out east here.
Awesome. We love starting you off. That's so exciting.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. Should be a great show.
So, what's the best and worst part about touring?
I would say the best part is being able to connect with people. Um, after I play, some people say, that song really spoke to me in a certain way, or I really identified with a certain lyric, which is amazing to hear. I'd say that's probably the best part. And then the worst part is probably just that there's a lot of uncertainty. You never know how many people are going to be at a show, or if there are going to be any people at a show at all. I'd say that's probably the hardest part, and the part that I get most anxious about is, especially if you are going to an area where you haven't played before, or you haven't played in a long time. Trying to gauge how many people will show up is really tricky, and for me, it's pretty anxiety inducing.
Well, I would say there's certain things out of your control, right?
Yeah,
You
for sure.
do your best and you can set it up. And then I know at the club we've had amazing performers, and it was a sunny day and we're competing with a beautiful Saturday, or right, that sometimes it's hard. So, right, some of those things you have to decide that you just have to let go. You do your best and then you show up.
Totally. Yeah, and I have to remind myself of that all the time.
Yeah, I do too, because every time we start a show, I'm like, how many are coming? So, yeah, we just, right, you open the door and you hope for the best.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Your 2023 album, Covering Old Scars, where's the title from? What's that about?
I actually pulled that title from a lyric in the song "Help Me Out," and that I like to call that song my anxiety song, because it's sort of just about feeling out of place and uneasy, and the line about covering old scars talks about having a couple drinks just to forget about what happened before and cover those memories. So that's where that Covering Old Scars title came from.
And I always ask people sort of about like what you feel your purpose is. I think the older I get, the more I think about that. Kind of like why I'm here and what I can do to make a difference. And I know you mentioned to me that mental health is really important, and I was wondering if you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big advocate for mental health, but I feel like my purpose is to share my story and hopefully help people feel a little bit less alone. I've been through some really hard times, and I know everyone has hard times in their life, and it can feel really isolating. So hopefully when people hear my music, they can identify with it, and they can say, I've been there, I totally understand how he's feeling, and hopefully that makes them feel a little less alone. But I've been in and out of therapy for years, and I've told my therapist, I wish there was just a roadmap that you could say, all right, do A, B, and C, and then you're fixed forever. But unfortunately, that's not how it works, and you got to keep at it and, slowly sort of paint over the cracks in the wall. And, it's a constant process.
Yeah, I think we'd all wish that there was a bit of a roadmap we could follow. And
yeah,
I think,
for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that it's like the idea of feeling isolated and out of place. I think that's honestly, I think it's the majority of people that I know today.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. It's sort of hard to manage, and I think a big part of what I try to do with the club is to try to create some community and a place for solace for people. Be yourself, listen to music, be moved, dance, and be in community with people because it's hard out there.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I love that you're trying to do that and building that community at the Falser Club.
Yeah, it's not always easy. I think, especially after COVID, people are sort of tend to isolate a lot, and I know I do that too. So sometimes my work just has got to pull me out, right? Get me to unlock the door, open things up, set things up, um, where I might otherwise be kind of curled up on my couch.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think it's really important that we sort of normalize people struggling, feeling anxious, talking about it, being in therapy, right? Trying to make ourselves feel better and normalizing the fact that it's not easy and that sometimes you feel better and then you need a new roadmap again, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sometimes it's two steps forward, one step back, and you need to revisit some things before you can move forward again.
See, that's why we play music, so that two steps forward and one step back is a dance.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
All right. And I think that I know I wanted to be able to share one of your songs with everybody, give them a little taste of what they'll get when they come on Thursday.
Sure.
And you were going to share the song Always Been You. Can you tell us a little bit about it and why you picked that song?
Yeah, I like to try and put a positive spin on my songwriting because, like I said, I've been through some dark times in my life, but I've always gotten through the other side, and so I try and put a positive spin on things. And "Always Been You" was a song that I came up with when I was thinking about a friend who was getting married, and I started thinking about how they met, and you know they broke up and then got back together again, and how relationships are. And um I guess it turned into a little bit of a fictional song about a young couple that has to be um torn apart for whatever reason, and then they find each other later in life, and you know see if the sparks fly again.
Hmm. Well, good. I can't wait to listen. So we're going to take a moment and listen to a little snippet of Always Been You.
Crazy seeing you in the small town bar tonight. I thought you were out on the west coast with some guy. Way back when we were young in love, holding hands between class, we were so grown up. Your dad got a job, we got pulled apart by life. And baby, I've been gone for so long, trying to find the truth. I messed around with all the wrong ones, cause I never knew. Every time my heart would break, I was closer to hearing you say, baby, you're the one that I want to hold on to. It's always been you. Flip a coaster at the bar as we get caught up on life. 3 or 4 drinks in and we travel back in time to bonfire nights in the summer air. I was lost in the flames of your boundless stare. We were the only people left on earth that night. And baby, I've been gone for so long, trying to find the truth.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for sharing that song with us and for sharing your story. And I'm really looking forward to having you at the club.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for Thursday. Can't wait to play and share the stage with a couple Philly artists who I've checked out. I love their stuff. I can't wait to hear them live.
Awesome. This is Ashana Larson with Falzer Under 5, podcast of a microdose of music and purpose for the Falzer Club. Today I was with Christopher Morse from Colorado, who will be bringing his singer-songwriting talents to the Falzer Club on Thursday, April 25th at 7:30. He'll be doing a singer-songwriter in the round with Jason Agar and Tyler Assay. Thanks for being with me today, Christopher.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to see you on Thursday.
All right, we'll see you soon. Until then, be well, be creative, and make a difference.